Good morning from the beautiful Stanford University. My name is Stephen Marone, the academic primary leader. Today we have the 2015 People to People Technology Leadership Summit Expedition. We have an amazing amount of moonshots to show off today. Moonshots are the impossible, but not impossible because of you students. Your creativity, your curiosity, your wonder, your ability to work with each other, your teamwork, and your perseverance, with some failure, which is okay, allowed you to take the impossible and make them possible. So we're very proud of you. We're looking forward to see what you have done. We know that you're going to leave here and change the world and make my world and all of our worlds a better place. And with that said, I'd like to introduce Dr. Roger Kraush, an American scientist and astronaut who's been to space at least 2 times. So here he is, Dr. Kraush.
All right, thanks. I hope they got you guys home last night in time to do a little bit of studying, because I'm going to give you a pop quiz now. So how many people here are glad you came? Let's do it the other way. How many people here wish you hadn't come? All right, how many people here made a new friend? All right, how many people here learned something this week? Absolutely. All right, you didn't learn anything? You didn't hold your hand up. I'm watching you. You gotta, I don't want to have to mark this off. Okay. Well, I'm really glad to be here this morning, because this is the most interesting part of the program, I think. We get to see how creative and innovative and how well you guys have done. How well means how much did you learn. A lot of these robots are not going to work today. Don't worry about that. At NASA, what we do is we say failure is not an option. But what that really means is that quitting is not an option. As long as you don't quit, you don't fail. So you just learn from what you've done, and then maybe you can build on it in other opportunities you get. You may not have a chance to rebuild it today, because tearing it down is going to be fun, but as you tear it down, you might even learn something there. So let's get on with the show, and I'm really excited about seeing what you've done. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Deb Carano, one of the technology coordinators, and I just want to say that we are very proud of all the young people that have worked tirelessly in our computer lab over the past 10 days. They have stayed in the struggle. There have been ups and downs. There have been call-outs. There have been cheers. There have been tears. And we're so proud of everyone here. At this time, we have 20 teams that we're going to be watching. Whether or not their robots work the way they want them to, well, we're proud of them for all of the hard work. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to team number 1.
Hello, I am Tosh Lay from California.
I am Jonathan Smith from Illinois.
Keaton Lear from Maine.
And I'm Mitch McEntee from New Jersey, and we are here to present to you our creation, something that will change the world. It is a tool for the blind and a lifesaver, like a digital walking stick.
Making this was not easy. We've encountered many problems in the process, but we triumphed over them.
For example, one of the problems that we encountered was the fact that it's not that stable, because it has to be wearable. However, through a feat of engineering, we managed to compromise both stability and comfortability.
Another problem we encountered is that our original design could not sense the stairs. So after some rethinking and innovation, we designed the mechanical arm in order to sense stairs. Now we should show you the different parts of how our wall works.
Once I get it on first. Thank you for that wait. But now, okay, so this is our robot. And now, as you can see, as I was describing, it is wearable. and it has many different parts. But the most essential are the two different sensors. The first of which is an ultrasonic sensor. This sensor allows for the robot at least, to sense the distance. So if there's an obstacle in the way that might block someone who could not see from continuing on their way. And then the second one, as Jonathan was talking about, allows you to sense stairs, as this arm will move up and down, continuously sensing stairs. So now, let me show you this robot in action. That means that you should walk. And it waits, you walk. Now let's, Mitch, if you will, say there's some kind of obstacle in the way. That means that there's an obstacle. Now let's say that there's some kind of stairs or a gap, as Jonathan was talking about. See? Now you shouldn't walk because there are stairs. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ida Keller from San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Jet Hayashi from Tokyo, Japan.
And I'm LaSalle Yuzon from Bakersfield, California.
Today we're going to tell you about what our robot can do. Our robot helps the clinically depressed by displaying by playing a sound that correlates to that emotion and giving a high five.
Throughout our building experience, we had many start ideas. We first started with a security robot that would patrol an area to see if let's say, burglar entered your house. But we discovered that the sensors and materials needed were not available to us at the time. We changed it to a writing robot, but that didn't turn out successfully, as you can see. So then now we have what we have today, which is our emotional robot.
Although this took a lot of hard work and dedication, we now have a robot that can improve the world. If anyone from the audience would like to volunteer to participate okay, Tosh.
So what our robot will do is it will sense Tosh, and since it sees him, it's going to. And now it wants to give you a high five. Would you let it?
Okay, sure. High five me.
Okay, well now it doesn't sense you anymore because you left the sensor, so it's gonna leave you. There.
Yeah. That high five felt amazing.
Okay. Okay. Hello. It's nice to meet you. I am Suvam from Los Angeles.
I'm Ratamue from Mongolia. I'm Octavius Woods from Mississippi.
I'm Opemipo Kunore from Nigeria. We are all here to present you the project named The Sanitarium.
My role was Chief of Creativity and Background Engineer.
My role was the assistant engineer.
My role was the chief engineer. And I was also a background programmer.
My role was the main programmer, and I also helped out with engineering.
So, the Sanitarian is a robot based on, picking up garbage and keeping it in its storage compact system. So, intentionally, the Sanitarian is supposed to move up to the trash, right? Right, when it stops, right, it gets its claw, picks up the trash, and then puts it in its storage system. So the way that this would be used is in small places such as the park, or like small places where you would want to pick up trash that is just like, all over the place. Some of the problems we faced during the sanitarium were its compact structure and its space structure. So as you see here, it looks very complex through the sides and even on the top, right? The thing is, we tried using all the resources we had possible for stability, and we wanted to be, just stylish, I guess. So the challenges we faced were that the hand wasn't necessarily, unfortunately, wasn't compatible to the base like we planned. It's just on the due amount of days and the due amount of resource, hand couldn't necessarily fix it in that sort of amount of time. So that's the sanitarian. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Al-Jahwari from Oman.
I'm Evan Mikulski. I'm from Connecticut.
I'm Ben Light from New York.
I'm Andres Montealegre from Boulder, Colorado.
Every day, more and more people are introduced to driving. And with this ever-expanding stream of new drivers, highways become more and more backed up, leaving people aggravated with their inability to get the places they need to be. So the question facing engineers and thinkers everywhere is how they can fix this. But to us, the answer is simple. We have come up with an idea that will change the world forever through a robot. Imagine you're driving down the highway and suddenly out of the corner of your eye, you see a hay bale, probably fallen from a truck. But before you can react, you hit it and you slide out. Now, go back a little bit. Now imagine that you see that same hay bale on the same highway, but now it's on the side of the road, and a cool-looking robot.
So one of the problems that we have faced while making the robot was having the robot actually pick up the debris from the cars. Our first design was a claw, but after spending hours trying to perfect it, we decided to change it to a plow. The plow was more effective, and we had to change the whole programming and design of the robot. Now to Evan.
So for the programming and the engineering, we tried to make it as compact as possible to make it fit in a small amount of space, yet to be able to safely clear the debris from the road. So the programming, we have an ultrasonic sensor sensing for debris in the middle of the road, and then we have a motor to deploy our plow and to push it out of the way, and then the plow will come back up and it will drive away.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariah Sylvester, and I'm from New York.
Hello, my name is Allison Beebe, and I'm from Virginia.
Hello, my name is Hamza Khalid, and I'm from Massachusetts.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm from Arkansas.
And this is our robot named Woody. Woody is a tree cutter, and he gets the job done in a very timely manner. What would take man to take 1 to 2 hours to cut down one tree, our robot Woody can just cut down a tree in a matter of minutes. Woody also limits the amount of pollution that is evaporated into the air, and it's more and it's limiting the amount of accidents that we have in the woods.
One problem we had with the programming was that the two motors on the sides would not work together, and they would both just keep running off. And so we fixed that with having two strings so that when you they would both work together.
Another problem we had was with the balance of the bot itself and the stability of the tires. The way we fixed this was by using bigger tires in the front and smaller tires in the back, creating an equal platform, and using support beams in the back tires so we could have more strength.
One problem that we had with the header on the bot was aligning it to where the disc spun without having it crooked, and allowing the motor to be able to be placed where it had got to its primary speed to be able to cut the tree. By doing that, we moved the beams around to be able to align it, and then allowed it to where Allison could program it to where she could be able to cut the tree at a faster pace.
And this is our demonstration of Woody. Tree was supposed to fall back. And hopefully Woody does not just stay a prototype, and we use it in our everyday lives. Thank you.
Hello and good morning. My name's Andrew from New Jersey.
I'm Sam Leach from New York.
I'm Justin Prindle from Ohio.
And I'm Amanda Yuan from California.
And our robot tackles the problem of keeping teenagers unplugged from their phones while still letting them receive texts.
So first, this is our demonstration. First, you can set up your phone to charge in this robot. Then, whenever your phone receives a notification, such as a text or a call, as Sam just sent me, it will detect that it got the notification with a color sensor, and it will bring the phone to you. Then, after you're finished checking the notification, you can press the button on the front to send it back.
So when we initially started, we were having trouble coming up with ideas, but as we continued, we realized that this was a robot that was feasible with the parts that we had, and also it was complex enough that it would help humanity.
Another issue that we struggled with was the design and the construction of the robot. Initially, some of us never really had experience with Lego Mindstorms, so we didn't really know how to start, and we ended up putting it together and taking it apart many times. However, we finally came up with a design that would actually work for the robot. The design issue that we had was that we struggled with some weight issues, and we initially wanted to put the phone port on the other side of the robot, but that would cause too much weight on the other side. And the wheel in front was the wheel that was in the front was too small, so then we eventually replaced it with a larger wheel, and the weight was balanced.
So our robot helps humanity by, as I said before, keeping teenagers unplugged, but they can still receive important texts. And also, it helps the hearing impaired and elderly with getting texts that they didn't know they got. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Meghna from Fremont, California.
Hi, I'm Jaden Chong from Washington.
Hi, I'm Vera Bakonen from California.
I'm Kareem Samadi from Kentucky, and our robot is here to change the world. This robot is optimized for the blind, handicapped people, or people who just can't get around, and it's able to go and bring back stuff for them so they don't have to get up and do it themselves, I guess.
So originally our robot had trends to move around, but on the third day we completely scrapped the base and rebuilt it with wheels.
Also, our claw wasn't originally like that. It was smaller and it had no grip. So later we changed it. We added more Legos to make it bigger and added tires for a better grip.
One of the main struggles we faced towards the end was making our robot turn, and we realized that we weren't supposed to connect the tires at the end, so we disconnected them and it worked again. Okay, that's a liquid supply. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carson Sweeney from Oregon.
My name is Will McCullough, and I'm from New Jersey.
And my name is Joe Garcia, and I'm from Coachella, California.
So, what a robot does is picks up trash. This will be useful in a variety of situations. Say that you have back problems and you don't want to bend down to pick up each individual piece and would much rather have the robot do it. Say that there's lots of gross trash that you don't want to pick up and you don't have any gloves or something that's hazardous to touch. So let's see the robot in action. So as you can see, it works off of an arm lifting the garbage into a trash barrel. As you can see, we have it remote controlled. However, originally we were going to use a sensor, but this proved to be the only place we could find to put it is on the arm, and that was too heavy for the motor. Another problem is on the last day, it actually drove off the table, so it was a mad scramble to put it back together. We went through many, many different designs to try and get this thing to work, and we're very happy with the final product.
Hi, I'm Tom Bolliard from California.
I am Logan Hunt from Illinois.
I'm Cameron Ballou from Pennsylvania.
I'm Mina Jones from Virginia.
And our robot is named Bob the Brick. He is a line follower, and what he's supposed to do is follow a line, and and it is made for bedridden children in hospitals, and it is supposed to entertain them.
We had a lot of troubles while designing this robot. At first, we couldn't put together and design or think of what we wanted to actually do. We went through many previous designs, like a crane that was supposed to pick up trash, or a bulldozer pushing trash or litter off the road or streets. And, well, we kind of decided on this because we thought it'd be something fun to do, and it was something that we could all agree on.
It's not just like line following. It could be from designing your own track with your little car. That would be cool for little kids or adults if you're into that thing. Or like helping learning disabled kids like learn the alphabet or something. That would be cool. It would like trace the alphabet letters or numbers or like anything. So yeah.
And here is our run.
It's kind of slow, but we didn't want to break it last minute.
The way that it actually follows the line is the sensor reads the color contrast between the black electrical tape on the poster board and the white of the poster board. It reads the color difference, and so it picks up the black-white barrier and follows the barrier on the line or on the poster board.
So how about that weather we're having? I didn't listen.
Hello, my name's Kevin Jackson. I'm from Virginia.
My name's Declan Pico. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
I'm Alexis Dang, and I'm from Pennsylvania.
I'm Aaron, and I'm from Oklahoma.
And the robot that we design is so that the elderly can be reminded when to take their pills.
First, what you do is you take the medicine that you need for a certain time of day, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and put it in the according slot. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The robot is designed to sound an alarm when each set of pills drops into the conveyor belt and down into the chute.
For time purposes, we're running all 3 programs now, but if this were an actual product, you'd be able to set the alarm to go off at any time of day.
As you can see, the robot will let off a sound letting you know when to take your pills, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
So when the alarm sounds, this conveyor belt pulls back so that the pills drop onto a different conveyor belt that pushes it into down onto the slide.
And after all 3 cycles of pills are complete, the conveyor belt underneath the pill containers retracts so it can be refilled at a later time.
This product was not only designed for the elderly, but for people of all ages who need to be reminded when to take their medications.
Good morning. I'm Kyle Steigerwald. I'm from North Carolina.
Hello, my name is Jalen Checo. I'm from New York.
Hi, my name is Ayush Goel. I'm from New York, and I would like to introduce you to the pickup bot. So this idea came about when we realized we wanted to help the disabled, mostly people who had back problems. And I really do appreciate this idea because I recently witnessed this in my own family, where my grandmother came back from India on a 14-hour plane ride. And she sat in a very uncomfortable seat. And after she came back, we all had to help her get around and get stuff. So we want to make something that could really help her out, or at least help other people out and her too. So this robot is meant to pick up objects and bring them to a certain height so people won't have to bend down that low to retrieve them.
In building this robot, we used 3 main motors, a large one for the wheels in the back, and for the front forklift, and a medium motor for the top forklift. We also have sensors, a motion sensor here for not bumping into objects around the house when it's finding something to pick up for the user, and a ultrasonic sensor here to see the object it needs to pick up. In building this robot, some of the challenges we had were stabilizing the forklifts and making sure they accurately worked together because they need to work together in order to lift up the object.
Right. In terms of programming the robot, I had a little past experience with programming in JavaScript, but I had no idea how to do anything in terms of Lego Mindstorms. So when we started out, we weren't sure exactly how to make all of the different motors and sensors work correctly. But we figured it out over time, and we recently found a way to simplify the different things we were doing. We overcomplicated it and attempted to add power over a certain amount of time instead of just getting these forklifts to a certain angle, which makes the robot work a lot easier. And the challenges we faced were just making sure all these loops worked and going through the program correctly.
All right, so here we go. So it's supposed to end up like that. All right, so while it didn't work, this is just a prototype, and we hope that in the future we can have some additions to it, so it can maybe also help maybe the blind or other disabled people. And so we would like to move forward with this project.
This entire camp, we learned about big data and how you can always learn from your failures. And right here, as we see, it didn't work properly, but we had a couple of successes in the past, and we know that if we had more time to work on this, which most companies that are prototyping objects do, out all these flaws and make it even better. Thank you.
I'm Abi Almernoth from North Carolina.
I am Braxton Whittle from New Mexico.
And I am Sydney Jenkins from North Dakota. And our robot is a prototype for a potential search and rescue bot or for the retrieval of objects that are in situations that are too dangerous for people to be involved in.
So how our robot works is it has a basket on the front, and it also has a color sensor under the basket to detect what color we program it to sense.
Some of the problems we had when we were making the robot included the structure, because none of us had any building experience with things like this before. Some of the programming was difficult, especially looping it to make sure it doesn't stop until it senses the color, and getting the color sensor to actually work. Because originally our color sensor was too high for it to sense, so we had to make some adjustments to make it go lower. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Del Rio from Edinburgh, Texas.
Hi, I'm Felice from California.
I'm Emmanuel Clark from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Amber Marrero from the Bronx, New York, and our team created a robot to help the colorblind with their medication. Now, we all know each pill has a different color. So if you take the wrong pill, well, it can be extremely harmful to your health. And so this will help the colorblind population of this world.
Therefore, we built a robot to aid them. Our robot can not only sense colors and stop at the required color, but Picasso can also read the color out loud.
So with Picasso, the colorblind individual of this world will have like a much less harder problem to struggle with, because you have a robot that can scan colors. So if they have a certain medication that, you know, has different colors and whatnot, then this robot can read it out loud to you.
Each of us had an important role in this project. Amber and Jasmine was responsible for the construction of this EVD robot. I did much of the programming along with Manuel, who was the programming editor. And now we're going to test it out. So can the audience choose any of these 5 colors?
Green.
Green? So now I'm gonna make it scan for green. Ready? Does the audience want to choose another color? One more. Red. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Melavidoff from Alaska.
Hello, I'm Oakley Goodsell from Utah.
Hi, I'm Patrick Reagan from Texas.
Hi, I'm Miranda Moore from Georgia, and this is our writing robot. The robot was inspired by a really close friend of mine. She broke her collarbone, and the sling she was given restricted the movement on her dominant hand. So we decided to create a robot that could help write for someone who would be unable to.
We've had many designs. First, we started off with a printer-shaped design, which was like a square, and we hoped to have a pen or pencil draw across in different shapes to create letters. Unfortunately, it was too complicated for any of us, so we had to resort to a vehicle design, which would drive around and write the different. But then we figured out that our pen was too far out of the radius zone, so we would make curves. Trying to make curves would be a little bit too hard. So we tried moving the pen to the middle, but seeing as this is Legos, some things can be limiting, like these engine sizes. So they'd run into the wheels and it'd be too hard. We didn't have enough time to fix all that, so we went back to original design, and this is what we have come up with.
During all of our building and redesigning problems, we were programming this robot to move and write in the way that we wanted it to. And basically all of that was moving the robot by hand, reading the numbers and putting them into the program, and repeating that process for a majority of the time that we were here.
After many designs and redesigns, we came up with a robot that can write a hashtag in a line, and that gives flexibility for somebody to write what they wish in it. And if given more time and resources, we would have programmed it to write the whole alphabet, and it would be able to write whatever the person wanted it to.
This is what we've got. Given more time, we would have had letters, but this is what we have. Hashtag P2P. And on the score.
Hi, I'm Daniel Litzbarski from Montebello, California.
Hi, I'm Hozo from Montreal, Canada.
I'm Kenneth Huang from San Francisco.
So our robot is designed to lift things up for people with disabilities who can't really bend down as well. Our original design was meant to go higher than this, but we had certain limitations working with Legos.
Yeah, so it's actually not works, but we are trying to figure out that actually we don't have enough power for the medium motor. So like we're trying to use the gear to make it work, but unfortunately it's not work. So and we trying to find a right gear, but we don't have the right one. So
building this was very difficult. We originally started with one that was going to use tank treads, and then we a steel ball as like a pivot wheel, and using 2 large back wheels for mobility. The original design for this one was going to be much taller, up to maybe here, so that you could reach it from a sitting position. But due to the strength of the motor and limited resources, we were only able to make one that was light, and we were unable to change the frame up so that we could make it a little easier for the robot to pick up objects.
These sensors here were supposed to work together, but the wires weren't long enough to be able to put them together. But it was the sight sensor was going to detect an object, and the color sensor would detect its color. Depending on its color, it would either turn away and look for another object, or it would lift the object up. That's really it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rose Savar, and I'm from Florida.
I'm Stephen Momolo from California.
I'm Vincent Palacios from California.
And I'm Hannah Olson from Michigan. And our robot's name is Gigi, and she was originally designed to pick up golf balls, but it also works for small objects like tennis balls or trash.
Gigi can help people with arthritis and can save time on picking up things in general. Gigi's programming can be applied for other uses, such as gathering trash, picking up other types of balls, and collecting rock samples.
So the biggest problem we had during this whole process was the actual building of the robot itself. Due to the fact that there's lots of moving parts that have to fit together seamlessly, we had lots of problems trying to make it really compact, but while still working. So this is the final design that we came up with, and we're pretty proud of it. It works relatively consistently.
After we finally came up with a design that would actually work for our robot, we had to figure out how to program it. Originally, none of us had very much experience with programming, so it was a bit difficult, but we watched a few videos, we experimented through trial and error, and after asking a couple other of our friends for help, we finally got something that would work, and we're actually really proud of it.
All right, here we go. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Naomi Fisher from Germany.
I'm Laird George from Texas.
I'm Nick Rooney from Colorado.
And I'm Brandon Freck from California.
And when we came up with our idea for a robot, we thought about how when people get old, they often don't see as well as they used to anymore, and they often have to take medication for many different things. So we thought it'd be really cool if we had a robot that could tell which color pills had and sort those pills for the people so they don't accidentally take the wrong one. But you could also use the robot for sorting different things, like if you were colorblind and wanted to craft with beads, it could sort those for you. Or if you're just a neat freak and want to sort your Legos, it can also do that.
So some problems with the program were initially none of us really knew how to program this specific type of program, so we had to learn pretty briskly. Another problem was we had to separate the pills, so like 2 of them didn't come out at once, so that was solved by this arm.
So we also had some problems with the design. Originally, it was more of a car that went up and down the table and dropped it in 4 different cups. Then we went to a more stationary design. Also, with the wires, since some of the wires are really long, since it has to rotate, some of the wires have to be longer and some of them can be shorter.
All right, now we'll demonstrate our robot. All right, so how the robot works is you load your pills in this main station here, and a conveyor belt will bring the pills to a sensor that will sense the color of them. Then a lever arm will go down, making sure that only one will drop in a cup at a time. And then the full robot will rotate, dropping the pills in the different cups. All right, and it also says the color so that people who are either colorblind or can't see well can also hear the name of the color. And that is our robot.
Hi, my name is Sarah Noyes, and I'm from Massachusetts.
My name is Jacob Rude from Wisconsin.
My name is Arxuan Zhao from China.
My name is Dennis Lander from Kenya.
And our robot is supposed to take the place of a firefighter because we found that a lot of firefighters are dying, risking their lives to go inside burning buildings and save people. And so these heroes do not deserve to die when we could bring in robots that are replaceable and can easily do their job and not risk their lives.
These tires represent the obstacles inside the house, like walls of the falling pieces of debris. The robot cannot touch the tires to find a person.
So what we've decided to do for controlling this robot is we have a mobile control unit so that someone on the outside of this is supposed to represent a building with these tires controlling the robot, and it kind of adds a human instinct set portion to the finding a person inside. Also on the front here, you'll see a little sensor that right now is emitting a red light. This sensor could be used to detect color as to single out a person from a burning building. It could also be used as a video camera that could just find a person using your visual sense. A third thing it could do if a room, say, is on fire and is vision impaired, is it could just detect that there's an object in the center of the room, so that if there's no vision inside the room, you could still find a person inside there.
So now we'll just perform a demonstration. So at first it enters the room, it checks the surrounding area to see if there's any sort of life or human. At that point, it's located the human in place and it approaches it. Then through use of a hook that's attached to it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Through use of, you got it? All right. So through use of a hook, it attaches itself and binds the human to its mechanism. Then with the human in tow, it reverses back to the entrance. So this is a safe and effective way to get the human out of the house and out of danger without any firefighters risking their life, and so it's better for everyone.
Some difficulties that we faced when building this was efficiency, because you don't have a lot of time when a building is on fire. So at first we had a sensor go around and it would go into every room, look around, go out, go in the next room, every room, because it wasn't controlled by a human. And we found that it was more effective to have a human take control of the robot and go in, because it would be faster and get the person out as quickly as possible. So that led to the robot we have today.
Hello, my name is Paul Rosendi, and I'm from Rhode Island.
I'm Leonard Ronger, and I'm from Germany.
I'm Jacob Dyer, and I'm from Arkansas.
I'm William Null, and I'm from Massachusetts.
And this is our BookBot 9000. Now, you may be asking, what in the world is this large mechanical thing in the front of our robot, and why is this robot so elongated? Well, we had a lot of difficulty and limitations when we were building this bot because, of course, we're using Legos. So we two of our men here created this long arm here to pick up the book, and Leonard will demonstrate how this works.
So in order to pick up the book, the arm will turn, and it will determine when to turn by this touch sensor here. Originally, we wanted to put a color sensor to make sure it only picks up the right books, but the color sensor didn't work for us, so we had to stick with the touch sensor.
And first we had many problems, and we had to change a whole bunch of stuff on the arm of it, and the stability was off a lot, and we had to make a whole lot of changes to fix it, and the stability isn't still all that great. It could be better, but if we changed that, it wouldn't be able to turn as much. So it is what it is.
As Jake said, stability was quite an issue, as well as distribution of weight, as it has to carry a book of a reasonable weight. So we had to add an extra drive wheel along with this little steel ball bearing for stability.
And now we will demonstrate how our robot picks up a book and moves it. The real life use of this would be in a library in, say, your community or a college. It would efficiently pick up a book and archive it for students to more quickly research and do projects. Let's hope it works. And sometimes the engine here, as you can see, stalls because it did not turn all the way. Well, close enough. It didn't drop the book, but that's what we have. And is, of course, it's a prototype. Most companies, when they prototype, they have much longer than just 9 days. They have almost 100 days to do it and working all day. But we worked as hard as we could, and this is what we achieved, and we're happy with it. Thank you.
Hello, I am Aaron Whitaker. I'm from Ohio.
Hello, I'm Ben Rakowski. I'm from Massachusetts.
Hello, I'm Lars Munzer from Germany.
Hello, my name is Joseph Litzinger, and I'm from Virginia. And today we're presenting our robot that has been designed from the ground up to help disabled and elderly persons garden from the comfort of their own homes. Some of the problems that we had with designing such a robot is actually balancing the robot and making sure that all the weight was as evenly distributed as possible. Hence this wheel in the back that's providing a counterweight for our large structure in the front, which is actually a plow. Also, we had trouble placing the sensors in opportune places. So for example, the ultrasonic sensor on the front, originally we were actually going to mount this way out front to sense objects machine, but this actually proved to get in the way of the plow.
So yeah, we also had some problems while programming. The main problem was to calibrate the gyro sensor, but also we had to figure out a whole new programming language, and yes.
Another problem we encountered was the seeder right back here. We had trouble mounting it and finding a way for the seeds to fall out individually as opposed to all at once.
Another problem we had was with the front plow. It was too heavy for the motor to lift up, so we had to add counterweights to the plow itself.
And now we will demonstrate just what this guy can do. We actually originally came up with the nickname Tumbler because during one of the testing processes, we had a problem with the machine shaking uncontrollably due to some issues with the treads. So there you go. All right, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Wow, I'm in awe. That was an amazing exhibition. You should all be proud of yourselves. So first, I want to thank all of you for all your hard work, your teamwork, your dedication, your inspiration, and everything that you've done for us. We're going to take back and be better people because of all of you. So I want to thank a few people because all of this work couldn't have happened without them. First, we have Miss Kathy and Miss Louise, who are in the office. They make sure that we are where we are, we go where we go, and that everybody has what they need to get through this program. I'd like to thank Miss Susan and Miss Ruthie. They're our program assistants. Mr. Jesse, our primary leader, and Chaslum, the director of this program. Izzy and Ethan, who are behind the scenes running the technology. We have Miss Deb, who introduced the teams, Mr. Andy, who helped run the lab, and you will hear from him because he is the inspiration behind this program. And most importantly, our teacher leaders. If you could all come up here so our students can give you our special clap. Come on up. So we have Mr. Sean, Mr. Dean, Miss Cheryl, Miss Michelle, Miss Kathy, Mr. Jim, and Mr. Doug. So let's give them our awesome clap. Awesome! Thank you so much. And now we have Mr. Andy, our inspiration. Here you are. And Miss Deb, are you coming up? Come on, Miss Deb.
I already forgot my red mark. You all did so amazing. Okay, I'm choked up. I'm even quiet. I'll say, well, I'm choked up. I'm quiet, I'm holding the microphone wrong, and I'm the one who told you how to hold it. I told you to stay within the red lines. The first thing I did was walk right out of the red line, so my arm was in this picture. So I'm gonna have to take a breath. And whenever I have to take a breath, my very own programmer takes over.
We were listening and calculating on the sidelines and have determined that of the 20 teams, we had 9 teams address disabilities, 5 teams address the environment, 2 teams address social emotional, 2 teams on worker safety, and 2 teams on search and rescue. That was absolutely extraordinary. You are going to make our world a better place. I know you are.
So you came here as strangers, looking to have some fun for sure, getting to play a bit with robots for sure, hoping that you'd make a friend, that you'd learn something. But did you expect to be awesome? No, but you became awesome. You became awesome. You walked onto a campus, one of the most prestigious campuses in the world. Onto this campus alone, you dragging a case with you, you wondered who your roommate would be, if you'd like your roommate. There were so many things going through your head, you were afraid. Admit it. I'm afraid every time. Yeah, you're right. Not afraid for your safety, but afraid that maybe people won't like me. But you got here, and you smiled, and you shook hands, and you slapped backs, and you played some games, and you became a team. You became a team first as people. And when you began to recognize that though we came from different places, and though we look alike, and worship differently. We are all very much the same in our purpose. We're here for one purpose, that when we leave, we've left something behind better than when we arrived. Oh, you've heard Miss Deb and I haunt you about this. But she just read 20 programs. None of them talked about putting on glam, making you look good for the prom, tricking out your car. They all were concerned on very real needs our world has for safety, for peace, for dealing with the differences as we age and the differences that we're born with and differences that happen to us along the way. Really, we're choked up about it. We think and believe that you are going to make this world a better place, because you already have. You made my world a better place. You made every adult in here smile all morning, indeed, this entire summit. Why? Because we saw hope in you. We saw in you the kind of power necessary, the kinds of attributes necessary to make this world a better place. And that's your mission. Now, everybody comes into this world with that mission, but few accept it because it's hard. The world's big. But you started small. You're thinking big, but you said, that old Andy probably has trouble sorting his pills. Let's do a way he can sort his pills. He's having some trouble walking. Maybe we can help him get around from place to place. You thought about a person in your life that had a need, still had to till and seed and reap a garden. But it's much more difficult now than it was 20 years ago for that person. So you developed a prototype to do that. You developed a prototype that can quickly be converted to a stick or a lapel that would help blind people navigate the world that they do not see. You've developed things that made life better, including for people who are lonely, a bot that recognizes it and smiles and laughs. You developed a friend for those who don't have the opportunity for a friend. Well, there are people hungry in this world. There are people who are not safe. There are people who do not have shelter. There are people who are in conflict. And I want to tell you, and I'll speak for Ms. Deb on this, I want to tell you, I believe you will make a difference. I truly believe you will make a difference. I believe when the time comes, you're going to step forward. You're not going to wander back, kind of slip into the big group. No, you're going to step forward and say, okay, I'm in. I know when the time comes, and you don't know when it is yet, but it will come when you have a choice to make. Am I a leader? Or I'm just going to get on with my life and I know somebody will step up. I feel that you're the ones who are going to say, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I have to. I'm a leader. And if I'm a real leader, I'm going to step forward. So you need to declare. You need to declare right now to yourself and anybody who cares about you. You need to declare if indeed you are a leader. So you know the question. What's the answer? Are we? It doesn't come from answering the question. What does it come from?
Doing it.
Doing it. Stepping forward. It comes from recognizing when the leadership's needed. And I'm going to tell you, just like walking onto this campus on the first day of the summit, you're going to be afraid. You're going to worry about, is it safe? You're going to worry about, can I do it? You're going to worry about, I got a lot of other things in my life to worry about. Do I want this one too? All of that's going to go through your mind. But like when you came on campus, there'll be somebody else that will be sitting there thinking the same thing. and somehow you'll connect. Those 7 young men that came from 7 countries, from Asia to Africa, and you met 2 of them, Long and Jeff, who said, before we become billionaires, we're going to make life better for people who live in Tanzania. And you heard them tell you their story and why. 7 people who didn't know each other, who met each other on this campus through their graduate work, stepping forward and investing a portion of their life in making someplace better than it is today. So now, that takes fire. That takes guts. That takes being unselfish. You gonna do it?
Yes.
Some of you, absolutely. Well, you've learned the leadership skills necessary to make it happen. Leadership is hard. Leadership is not influence. Leadership is knowing when leadership is needed. Leadership is, in fact, the greatest needs in our world today. Yes, I know we have people appointed. Yes, I know we have people elected. Yes, I know we have people who can power their ways into what we used to call leadership. But leadership is sitting in this room. See, leadership are people who are smart, people who care, people who are creative, and people who could come to a scary place and meet other people and do something amazing like we saw today on this table. You did that, you can make this world a better place, and I expect that you will. Now, last time I'm going to ask you, are you ready? Yes! Are you really ready? Yes! Then go do it. Give yourself an awesome clap.